Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of Iggy's Bodybuilding Camp. Today is part 2 of Ramadan and bodybuilding, and I'm going to discuss the approach you should take to training throughout Ramadan. Last week I did part 1 where I discussed the approach you should take to your food and nutrition. If you haven't seen it, highly recommend you go back and watch it. In today's video I'm going to look at things like, should you train throughout Ramadan, when should you train, how should you train, how often, and why you should train. And hopefully by answering those questions, you'll be able to then decide the best approach you should take to your training throughout Ramadan. So, first question, should you train throughout Ramadan? The answer quite simply is yes, absolutely. There is no difference between fasting and training throughout Ramadan and fasting and training when you're doing intermittent fasting, which thousands upon thousands of people do. The main difference is water. As long as you're getting in the amount of water you should be getting throughout the course of 24 hours, so you can find calculators online which will help you work out your daily water intake. Mine is about 3.5 liters. So as long as you get your required amount of water in for the day during your eating window, you should be absolutely fine. I'll later discuss how you can minimize water loss through sweating while you're training. The only other differences that exist are, you can't obviously drink BCAAs and you can't take any caffeine pre-workout, but again, these two things are not essentials and they shouldn't stop you from training. For those who have never done intermittent fasting, it's going to be slightly more difficult for you because it's going to take maybe a little bit longer for your body to adapt, but the body is highly adaptable and it adapts really, really quickly. So you will find that maybe for the first 2, 3, 4 days you'll struggle, but within the week your body will quickly adapt. It's the same with caffeine. I usually suffer from headaches because I drink a lot of coffee throughout the day normally, and throughout Ramadan I'm not drinking any coffee, but within 3 or 4 days I go cold turkey and my body just adapts to the lack of caffeine and I go back to normal. When should you train? The optimum time is to obviously finish training as close as you can to when you're going to be breaking your fast. So let's say you break your fast at 9:15, then you want to ideally train at around about 7, finish your training by about 8:30, come home and you're ready to eat and drink and replenish yourself. The reason for that is obviously when you finish training and you're fasted and you haven't had any water, you're going to be really depleted and you're going to struggle, and the fast is going to be extremely difficult. So you want to finish that training and eat and drink straight away, replenish your body, replenish your glycogen levels, your liquid, and put yourself in an anabolic state as soon as possible. How often should you train? Quite simply, as often as you normally do. As I've mentioned, there's no difference between intermittent fasting and fasting during Ramadan and training, so therefore you should train as you normally would. Makes no difference, and if anything, what you'll find is the more you train, the easier it gets. So train as often as you normally do. How should you train? The best way to train throughout Ramadan is to be smart. Obviously, my recommendation is avoid cardio. You're going to sweat, it's going to dehydrate you, and that's going to have loads of negative side effects. What I would recommend is train as you normally would, do as many sets, as many reps as you normally do, the only difference being that you should give yourself a longer period of rest between your sets. By doing that, you minimize the amount that you're sweating and you'll also have a more productive workout. So that's my only advice. Increase the amount of rest that you have between sets and auto-regulate. Listen to your body. If you feel like you're absolutely exhausted, you need to give yourself longer rests. If you feel good, then you can do your set quicker, but listen to your body. But the aim of the game is to try and reduce the amount that you're sweating. Why should you train during Ramadan? Fasted training has huge benefits. I've mentioned these in a lot more detail in a video I did previously called Intermittent Fasting. I'll link it in the description, go and check it out. But in a nutshell, when you train fasted, your body will use the stored fat that you have in your body for energy, so it promotes fat loss. On top of that, when you do then eat, the body is so depleted in glycogen that it will shuttle all of the carbohydrates that you take in and store them in the muscle and in the liver, as opposed to storing them as body fat. So not only do you have fat loss, but you also prevent your body from adding extra fat on. Next point, your body's hormonal responses become heightened, so insulin sensitivity goes up, and also human growth hormone. As we know, insulin and human growth hormone are essentially what make you anabolic. By increasing these two hormones in your body through training while fasted, you're going to actually promote muscle gain in your body throughout Ramadan. And as long as you are in a calorie surplus, you will notice that there will be no reduction in you gaining and progressing throughout Ramadan, contrary to popular belief out there. You know, it all comes down to the amount of calories you're getting in. Obviously, if you're in a calorie deficit or you're having a maintenance amount of calories, the chances of you progressing and putting on muscle is going to be reduced. But if you are in a calorie surplus, you can absolutely put on muscle throughout Ramadan. So that is another reason why you should be training throughout Ramadan, and the benefits of fasting and training. The last point I wanted to touch on is the power of the mind. Your mind and the way that you approach your training throughout Ramadan could either mean that you feel absolutely exhausted, you feel like you don't have energy, you don't feel like you can train hard, and you take this kind of half-hearted approach to training, or in fact just decide that you're not going to train at all. Or it can drive you on and make you more disciplined, and you can go and train even harder than you normally do. You know, don't let this "because I'm fasting, I can't train like I normally do" mentality get into you. That's called a placebo effect as far as I'm concerned. Ramadan should be a time where you feel motivated, where you have greater discipline, where your will to be the best version of yourself is even greater. Anyway guys, I will leave it there. Hope the information I've shared in this video is useful to you and will benefit your training throughout Ramadan. Please remember to comment, like, share and subscribe. Hit the like button, really helps the growth of the channel and the amount of views that I get, so really appreciate all those people that hit the like button. Subscribe so that you can see more videos that I post. Really appreciate all of your support. Keep living the life, be the best version of yourself that you can be, and I'll speak to you next time.